I got one thing to say to you, Moffat, after watching that 50th anniversary episode, The Day of the Doctor. Oh, you beauty! I took notes, lots of notes. If I could just make sense of my notes since I was scribbling in a frenzy. A frenzy? What is a frenzy? Frenzy. Before I get too much into The Day of the Doctor, I have to mention that the night before I watched Adventures in Space and Time, written by Mark Gatiss. I have only watched Doctor Who since the reboot in 2005, so David Bradley did an outstanding and moving portrayal of William Hartnell. Because of it, I want to actually go back and watch from the beginning. So, first up, some people were worried that Moffat would not live up to the hype of the 50th anniversary. Well, I think it was all that could be asked for. I didn't sit down the entire episode. I was standing next to the television. There was witty dialogue, precious interactions between the doctors, oh my god. A huge development and shift in the storyline. David Tennant had said in an interview leading up to this episode that there would be a seismic shift in the story, and yep, now we see why. Instead of Moffat, it's now, oh, Moffat. I think that there was a huge respect for where the story had come from. There was a lot of different bits and pieces. BuzzFeed made my job a little bit easier. There's a link down below with a list of Easter eggs that were in the episode. I think that this episode really tried to capture a lot of different things. They were able to honor the past, change something very drastic in the storyline, and also give us hope for the future. I think people were really wondering how John Hurt was going to play the War Doctor, if he was going to be really deep and dark. But instead, I think he played it in a very sensitive way, and I really enjoyed it. You could tell that he had had enough, and he was at the end of his tether. He had no other options, at least he felt like he didn't. I know some people were upset that Billie Piper's character, Rose, wasn't able to interact with David Tennant. I looked at it that it was awesome that she was able to be put into the story. The storyline between Rose and the Doctor ended, and it was in a good place where she had a doctor, not directly the Doctor, but it was the Doctor, but it wasn't, you know, but still, she was not coming back from that. So she was the conscience of this war machine. So it was a character we hadn't really seen her play. It was somewhat similar to Bad Wolf, but not really. If you weren't happy that all the Doctors weren't in the 50th anniversary episode, please do check out, in the links below, the 5-ish Doctors, written by Peter Davison. I'm so glad that they did that. You know the hashtag Save the Day? Well, I was thinking about it, and it wasn't just for us to remember the date to watch. It's the day the Doctor saves the day. Like, literally freezing Gallifrey in time, saving his home planet. Did you think about that, or is that just, am I reading into it? Seeing all the Doctors arrive around Gallifrey, surrounding them with their TARDISes, I got goosebumps. And then getting the little glimpse of Capaldi. All 13, sir. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, hair-raising moment. Speaking of Capaldi, the War Doctor says, "What is it that makes you so ashamed of being a grown-up?" And now, shifting to Capaldi, the Doctor has forgiven himself a little bit and has grown up when they showed Tom Baker. What? Elizabeth I had appointed the Doctor as the curator to the Undergallery. When 11 says, "Wouldn't it be nice if I could retire and be a curator?" Tom Baker walks in the room and says, "You know, I really think you might." There's that. And then in the credits, Tom Baker is credited as being the Doctor. So I'm not sure. I have no idea how that works, that the Doctor will end up being the curator there when Tom Baker was the Doctor before Matt Smith, or how he could continue on being the Doctor but then being there. I don't know, but you know what? I'm sure Moffat will figure it out. There's all these different references where David Tennant mentions Elizabeth I, I got married once, that was a mistake, and then now it comes back around. And then also Face of Bo says, "You are not alone." And first you think, oh, it's because the Master's out there, and there's another Time Lord. And now it's because Gallifrey is not gone. So, Moffat! I have come to realize there is no coincidence in Mark Gatiss's and Stephen Moffat's world. Only purpose. That's at least what I think. Finally, right after experiencing this wonderful, awesome episode, and leaving with that final scene of all the Doctors lined up, right after that, what airs? The new Sherlock trailer, no big deal. So everyone freaks out about that. Sherlock's alive! Gallifrey's alive! Everybody's alive! Woo! Which probably means that the Christmas episode will just break everyone's heart, but that's to be expected. So Anderson is in a room with all these Sherlock fans. So is Anderson running this fan group, or is he breaking into the fan group? His life is a mess because he realizes how much he depended upon him and that he was wrong. Because he seemed to be right in the middle of the room, like he's kind of yelling at them, like, why are you even believing in this stuff anymore. He's gone. My life is a piece of shit. And then all their phones go off. Oh my god. Because that in a way would make sense to me. Or he's become obsessed and he runs this fan club that's trying to locate Sherlock. So next up will be Christmas. It's gonna be great. We have so many questions on how he's gonna figure that one out. If you saw the Doctor Who episode, did you like it? Did you not like it? If you didn't like it, just because I say that I like it in this video doesn't mean that you can't say that you don't like it down below. Everyone has their own opinion. Totally okay. Next Doctor Who review, Christmas.